So 7 months ago, I got a hair transplant. And here are the top 10 questions that I've been asked. So number 1 is how much did it cost? €3,250 cash. And no, I didn't get any money off. I paid full whack. Question number 2, where did I get it done? So I got this bad boy done in a clinic called Now Hair Time in Turkey. Number 3, was it sore? So the sorest part about the hair transplant itself was the about 40 injections that I got all over my head as part of the anesthesia. But once that was done, my head just swelled to the size of a fucking balloon and I couldn't feel a thing from that point on. Number 4, what was the recovery like? So the recovery from the hair transplant itself in the initial 7 to 10 days was a little bit uncomfortable. As the anesthesia starts to wear off, you might get a couple of pains in your head. And when you're sleeping, because your donor area is still raw, it's still kind of bleeding and oozing, you want to try and avoid touching it off anything. You're trying to sleep at like a 45-degree angle, but sometimes your head will naturally fall onto the pillow, and when you wake up, it can be like a bit of a burning sensation. But after about 7 to 10 days, you no longer really experience that, pain-free from that point onwards. Number 5 is how long did it take my hair to regrow? I'm about 7 months deep into the hair transplant and I'm not done yet. So I have been told that over the course of between 9 and 18 months, you start to get more volume into the actual hair itself. Although if this was the final result, I'd be fucking ecstatic with it. The first 1 to 3 months, you look like an ugly piece of shit. I mean, people weren't even brave enough to come up and ask me had I something done to my hair because they didn't know whether I got a hair transplant or whether I was recovering from a chronic illness. From about month 4 to 5 is really where you start to see things ramp up. You can see the hair growing back and you can get an idea of how it's going to look long term. Now, you still look about 20 years fucking older, but it's certainly a hell of a lot better than what it was in months 1 to 3. I don't even know what fucking number I'm on. The next question I get is, do I have to take finasteride and minoxidil? And the answer to that question is yes. Because bear in mind that the front of my head has been transplanted. If the back of my head and the crown starts to recede from this point forward, it would actually just leave patches in my head. So in order to stop that from happening, what I do is take a milligram of finasteride every single day, or whenever on the days that I remember to take it, and before bed every night just rub some minoxidil all over my scalp. Minoxidil can be got in Ireland over the counter in any pharmacy. It's about €80 for 3 bottles that will last you for a couple of months. Finasteride has to be prescription, so if you're passing through Dubai anytime soon, stock up on a fuckload of them. Have I noticed any side effects from taking finasteride? And the answer to that is not that I'm aware of. So there's nothing different in terms of downstairs, mentally, or any other of the quote-unquote supposed side effects. I've had nothing of the sort so far. Number 7, I think, is how long was I out of the gym afterwards? So I was told to be out of the gym for about 4 weeks. I went back after 3 because I was a bit of an impatient But my advice is to err on the side of caution. Do what the clinic tells you to do, because the last thing you want to do is jump back into the gym after 2 fucking days. Then you end up with patches all around your head. The 8th question, I don't even know if this is the 8th question. Would I recommend the clinic that I went to? Personally, the clinic that I went to, I couldn't have been happier with the experience. The utmost professionalism, quick, efficient. At all times, I was under no illusions that the doctors knew exactly what they were doing. I insisted on getting the Lego block hairline, but what they gave me was a more natural, receding type of hairline, so that if you didn't know me, you wouldn't know that I got a transplant. Question number 9 is, did I get a hair transplant just to get a mullet? The answer to that question is absolutely. And number 10, what would my advice be to someone in a similar position to me? And the very simple answer is to get something done. I used to have rotten teeth before. This tooth used to be shoved up into my gum and there wasn't enough space on the bottom row for half the fucking teeth that are there. I hated my teeth, so I went and I got braces for 11 months and now I have perfect teeth. And I really don't understand why in this day and age there's still a stigma about men doing something about what is a very, very massive insecurity. For me, there is no return on investment that I can envisage that would pay me back as much as this hair transplant has. In terms of the boost that I've gotten in confidence from no longer having to worry about the wind pulling the hair off the top of my head, not having to wear caps or hats, and just the improvement in self-image that I've had since I've gotten this done has been unbelievable. So as far as €3,250 is spent, for me it's hard to imagine spending it any better. And while The Rock, Jason Statham and Joe Rogan may look fantastic bald, I prefer myself with hair.